Hello, everybody. It's Andrew Field here, and I have a lot of news to cover. So let's get started. Let's start off with Trump and how he said that when he talked to Obama when they were transitioning, from Obama to Trump being the president, he lied that Obama was close to starting war with North Korea. Um, and then Maduro called Trump a Nazi after Trump called on Venezuela's military to support Guaido and warned of consequences of sticking with Maduro. And then, if you didn't know, Pakistan and India have a and sour relationship, and it's very scary because it could go nuclear if conflict were to go out. And the U.S. is allied with India and Pakistan, and they're bordering countries. It used to be a country, and then like one country, and then Pakistan split off a long time ago, and they've had big conflict since. And there was a bombing in Kashmir, and Pakistan, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, said that he wants to help India with dialogue, like not wanting war, after the attack from a Pakistan-based terrorist group. So pretty scary stuff, and hopefully they can work something out, and the U.S. should get involved, being allies of both nations, to help resolve this and make sure the tension dies down. But it's not likely because America's focusing in other regions right now. And then the UK and Europe are trying to work out a Brexit plan with little time left. Trump lashed out against SNL, like saying there should be investigations in a comedy show because they're making fun of him. That's the length that Trump will go. Um, an ex North Korean diplomat that escaped to South Korea says that Kim Jong Un is not going to give up nukes, and Kim Jong Un is having a second meeting with Trump next week in Vietnam. And although it is making some progress to meet with Kim Jong Un, they both just want to get in front of the cameras, and it's giving Kim Jong Un a lot of credit. So while it seems like it's going a long way towards like negotiations, it's not enough because in the last meeting he didn't really get a lot done, or saying that North Korea would denuclearize, excuse me. And he actually said that he'd stop the joint exercises between us and South Korea. So it was actually negative, and hopefully in the second meeting he can get something out of it to where Kim Jong Un will sign on paper something to better tensions between North and South Korea and North Korea and us. But we'll have to wait and see. And I agree with that guy that he's not likely to give up his nukes. China plans to turn their coastal region, into a high tech megapolis, um, to rival Silicon Valley. And, that's a big deal for us because they're rivaling us in so many other sectors. And it seems like they're going to be big competition for us in technology also. The U.S. plans to finish ISIS in Syria. So I guess they're still fighting ISIS in a way. The European allies are reluctant to take back captive ISIS fighters after Trump was saying to allow ISIS fighters, like former ISIS fighters, to come back to their former countries, which is the stupidest thing ever because if they chose to go to ISIS, which is a terrorist organization that chops people's heads off and says they want to go to war against peaceful nations that give people freedom, and then they expect to come back, there's no freaking way that they deserve to get a normal life and get the rights back. I would say that they should be able to come back, either get killed trying to flee ISIS, or if they do manage to come back, get in jail for life. So you can actually take captive the former ISIS members. Like there was a lady in the UK who said she had no regrets about being a member of ISIS, and then had a kid, and then wanted to come back to the UK to have a peaceful life. Like people like that are so dumb, and I hope and I think that countries in Europe and America really don't want these former ISIS members back into our community. And then Magda Brown, a Holocaust survivor, spoke to my school, which was really awesome. We got to hear her story. It took like 2 periods of time, and it was really inspiring because she's one of the last like survivors. Because um, during the Holocaust, like part of their plan, like their ultimate plan was killing people who couldn't work. So those people that were too old and also people that were too young. And she was 17 at the time. So um, it was really, you know, great that she speaks out and tries to inspire others and like not cast doubt. We need to never forget what happened with the Holocaust because people are denying it, and it's going to become harder for people to believe when these survivors aren't going to be here to tell their stories. And Magda Brown, thank you so much for coming. And it was really great to hear her story. And after the anti-Semitic attack last year, that was like the worst in American history. She said, "Now more than ever, America needs to hear it." And it's sad that anti-Semitism is still in America, and our country isn't perfect, but we really do stand for equal rights. And I really hope that America stands by that message, and we can get rid of these hatred toward minorities like Jewish people. Um, Walmart had a blowout holiday sales. They did a lot better than people expected with their online sales and their retail sales. So that's pretty cool that are actually doing good competition against Amazon. Payless went bankrupt and they plan to close all of their U.S. stores. That's just another country that's becoming bankrupt and is falling down the drain to online stores like Amazon and just a really competitive market out there. Excuse me. And also Howard Schultz, which is independent former CEO of Starbucks. He slams the political left, the liberals, for being against Amazon's new headquarters because Democrats like Cortez were saying that they didn't. Well, at least Cortez was saying that she didn't want Amazon to have the new headquarters, and they ended up canceling their new headquarters HQ2, which would have been in New York City. Um, so yeah, I mean, some positives and negatives to that, and there's both sides. Where Schultz is like for Amazon to have their headquarters there, and Cortez was against. So that was pretty big. Um, Germany considers letting Huawei in, which is like a network from a big networking company from China that the U.S. is saying not to let in, but Germany is considering it and rebuking the U.S. We recently saw a super snow moon where I was. It was a little cloudy. I hope you guys got a chance to see it. The pictures looked really cool. Shark DNA could cure cancer and age-related illnesses in humans. They tested the DNA, and we're seeing how, um, like they were so tough and lasted so long. And seems like shark DNA could really help humans in the future, which is good. Using animals to help us and um, yeah, curing cancer. I mean, possible. SpaceX plans to fire twice flown Falcon 9 for the world's first commercial moon mission. I'm guessing that they're gonna have to build stuff like for people to go to, but it would be cool to have like a commercial moon mission. I mean, I don't think that should be their primary objective. I know that Elon Musk is trying to do stuff for like saving the environment and like trying to have another place to go to when the Earth doesn't last, because the Earth really won't last too much longer, like maybe a couple hundred years if we're lucky with climate change and everything going on. So he's trying to do both. um, China wants to put a solar farm in space in 2025. They're doing a lot more in space. They landed on the far side of the moon. recently, and now they want to put a solar farm. And America hasn't done much with NASA. I mean, NASA's been still doing stuff, but America hasn't really done that much anymore in space, and it's kind of sad. I think that they do maybe a little bit and want to compete with China, but not at the moment, it seems. And then recently, a football field sized asteroid flew by Earth. We got pretty lucky. And then a scientist who warned early of climate change, Wallace Smith Broker, died at 87. So rest in peace. Thank you for pointing that out in the beginning. It didn't seem like a lot of people listened, especially at that time, but he still put his ideas out there, and he was right, and he warned decades ahead um, of all the damage that climate change and the term he used, global warming, cause. And he was absolutely right. So um, thank you for everything you did for us. And then Bernie Sanders kicked off his 2020 campaign. So that's all the news I have for you guys today. Please like and subscribe if you like the video and you want to see more. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And goodbye.